All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Today, it's different because Jeff is a part of us. He's one of our guys, but he's got his own thing going on right now. And we're talking Malek, Reigning Devil. He's got a new Kickstarter out for issue 2 of a 6-part saga. And it's kind of exciting because issue 1 went off like gangbusters for 123 Go. Is it 123 Go Productions?
Yeah, 123 Go Publishing.
I always say Productions for some reason. Yeah. And this is your second go around. Are you excited? What's going on with it?
I'm excited. So far, we're 68% of the way to being fully backed.
Yeah.
So that's about 5 days in. So we're hoping to hit it by Friday, and then the next 3 weeks hitting stretch goals.
Yeah.
But we are about $250 short. So someone needs to step up.
Well, we got 24 days to go. I'm sure we'll get it. We'll get it.
I hope so. If we stall out from now, that'd be very sad.
This is the second part, but this is actually the third story with Malek because he didn't start in his own comic, right? He started off in a is it an anthology?
Yeah, it's an anthology called Gunmetal Black Ops.
Yeah,
it had an 8-page backup story. I guess it's more of a backup than an anthology because it only was 2 stories total. And then it was successful enough that I was asked to move into a 6-issue miniseries, and then we did Malek 1, and obviously we're trying to push 2.
Yeah. Did you write all this out already? Is the story arc done?
The 4 issues are completely written. The other 2 issues are mapped out, but I haven't written them yet. I usually wait till the artist is about a half a issue into the previous issue, and then I knock out the next issue. But right now we're on 4, and there's actually another mini comic book of Malek coming out as well in between issues 2 and 3.
So you did Malek for the anthology. Were you surprised how popular it's become?
Yeah, I mean, what happened was Phoebe kind of threw out an idea. She was looking for writers. She wanted a writer with an artist already attached. And I'm too poor to pay for an artist without an actual comic book already guaranteed to me. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to pay an artist for 8 pages without a guarantee there's going to be in anything.
Right.
And she was like, well, you write the story, I'll find you the artist, and we'll take care of it. I was like,
wow,
that works for me. So basically, the only rule was whatever character I write had to be carrying a gun. So I was like, an angel carries a rifle. I don't care. Whatever. An angel has a rifle. and I wrote it out, and it worked. It came out really well. Malek was a fun character to write, and it opened up so many possible doors after the issue was over.
Yeah.
And about a month later, I was contacting Phoebe, and I was like, I was thinking that Malek has a lot more story to tell. And she was like, I was about to contact you and say, can you write some more stories? I was like, yeah. So we sat down, and I kind of spent a day coming out with the full plot line. And she was like, yeah, let's do this. So far, 4 issues are written, 2 issues are left to be written. And then we have another, like I said, mini comic coming out.
Yeah.
In the year as well.
The artwork is good, man. Who is the artist?
Oh, his name is Juan. He's fantastic. He has to me, it's sort of almost like a 90s image, type of art.
What it reminds me of is the early 90s Lady Death.
Oh, that's a good comparison. I like that.
That's what it reminds me of. And the fact that it's dealing with hell and everything else is kind of cool. And oh God, hold on a second, dude. I'll cut this out.
Yeah, no worries.
God dang it. I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, Lady Death and Hell.
Oh yeah. It has a very similar vibe to it, which is cool on the artwork. And then the colors are so it's like you almost don't expect the color,
Yeah.
It's great. It's eye-catching and it kind of pulls you in. I like it.
Yeah, I've been pushing the Kickstarter all over the internet.
Yeah.
And some guy was like, is that Spawn? I was like, no, but thank you. I'll definitely take it. And yeah, I think it's eye-catching. So a review on the first issue referred to as metal as fuck. I thought to myself, yes, it is metal as fuck.
That is a true statement.
Yes. I was like, I was listening to Nine Inch Nails when I wrote it, and it should feel that way.
So some of your rewards, I never know what to call these things when it comes to Kickstarter.
Yeah, I think they're called the rewards.
Are they rewards?
Yeah, that's what
you got. The first. I like how you kind of did the whole Paradise Lost with second, limbo, the second circle.
Yeah.
I would suggest people get in there and do at least the $10, the third circle. So you get a physical copy. You also get both the digital copies, and then you get an exclusive sticker of Malek. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I say if you want to go a little bit further, I highly recommend the T-shirt. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's the image of the first cover on the front and the poster on the back with lust and gluttony. I modeled in a picture on the reward thing. So
you did.
So any modeling jobs out there, just I got this.
Hit up Jeff at jeffinterviews interviews at gmail.com.
Well, my new email will be jhotsexy@gmail.com for the modeling business,
jhotsexy@toohotforyou.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is looking really good. I can't wait to see when I get my actual physical copy, because I backed it the other day.
Greatly appreciate that.
Oh yeah. When working with Phoebe, how is working with 123 Go Publishing?
It's really good. We have a good relationship. I will say, I mean, it's not one of those relationships where she just says yes to everything I do, and not like everything's fantastic, everything's wonderful. Yeah. It's like she will go, this part here needs to be fixed, doesn't work, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And me being an arrogant and egotistical ass, as all writers are themselves, I will argue my point and be like, no, that's we'll go back and forth. And I will say, at least half the time I come to the conclusion she's actually right. I was like, you know what, Phoebe, you're right on this part. Like we had in the back, you see the picture with Santa Claus. The title of that comic book was Mr. Claus. It was Mr. Claus for a very long time. And I was like, it's Mr. Claus. And she's like, no, it's not. And I was like, no. That's going to be the title. She's like, no, it's not. And I was like, you're going to call it Santa Claus. I was like, we argued for a while. I was like, it's been titled for 10 years since I was envisioning this story. And she's like, yeah, I know, but it's not a good title. I was like, you know what? I finally thought about it after, a couple of hours of stewing and pacing, thinking, God damn it, it's the title. I was like, you know what? No, she's right. and that's what you want from your editor. You need someone who is honest with you, and when they do have an criticism, that at least half the time is going to be right.
Yeah.
And you have to think to yourself, you know what? The person has a good point. That's what you need. You need someone else who has a fresh perspective and can give you that perspective and be right from time to time. Yeah. And I will say Phoebe's done a great job of that.
Or at least be honest in their assessment,
Right.
And be able to say why they're thinking the way they're thinking, as opposed to, I've worked with people and they're like, it should be this. Well, why? Because this is what I'm thinking. This is why I did it this way. And they just don't like it. But that's not a good enough reason. They got to have a.
Yeah. I mean, my feeling is whoever you talk to, and like as an editor, should be a way not only to also give you the critique to make it better, but know how to talk to you as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who are like me who, no one likes being criticized. And I will say I can be kind of a short fuse as anyone be like, bullshit. That's not right. That's bullshit. That's not how you're going to do it. You want someone, it helps to have someone who's kind of like, kind of like talk, it's like a good man to be like, yeah, good ideas. I see what you're saying with that, but have you thought about this really? And I'll be like, yes, that's the right decision.
Right. Right. Yeah. You know what? There's nothing worse when you're working on a project or you're working on whatever you're working on, and you have somebody that you're trying to bounce ideas off, and you're like, okay, don't worry about this stuff because I haven't actually fleshed this out. That's just small things. But this overarching thing I want to tell you about, what do you think of this? And then they just zero in on these little details that you just got done saying. Don't mess with that. Yeah,
and especially with she also does. Yeah, she also does a great job with like editing art. Because for me, I suck at editing artwork when I see it.
Yeah.
When I get the art, I'm like, oh, that looks awesome, cool. And then people will be like, did you notice that didn't happen in that panel? I was like, wait, what didn't happen in what panel? Yeah, shouldn't you have this? I was like, oh shit, that is in the script. Yeah, damn it. All right, I just thought it was cool, and I was like, go for it. But yeah, it's nice to have someone who can also be like, can look at the pages and see the things you're not looking at, because it's just cool to see your stuff on a page. Yeah. Sometimes I tend to get excited, be like, great, perfect, do it. Yeah. And Peter's like, no, you can't. You just, continuity errors here, here, and here. You got to go back. I was like, oh shit, there are problems.
Yeah.
Good eye.
It takes sometimes it takes a special person to talk with artists, because like when you're writing, I mean, you're pouring a lot into it, obviously, but you don't put the same amount of hours of physical work into it like an artist does, because if you go, hey, this is messed up, and they got to go back, it's not like going back and replacing 20 words to make a timeline make sense. It's like redoing a whole page or a whole panel, and there's all this intricate detail, and they're like, oh yeah, oh thanks, man, you just gave me 8 hours more work.
No, and don't get me wrong, I mean, Juan did a fantastic job with the comic. It looks awesome. But yeah, I mean, as an artist, he does miss stuff. And I will say my fault is I don't usually catch the mistakes. If there is a mistake in what needs to be, like usually, for instance, any angel in hell other than Malek needs to have the light of God on him for it to work. Because of some of the stories from the original 8-page backup issue made a few statements that can only make sense if we keep the light always on any angel in hell of God. And want to produce a perfect page. It looks fantastic. And I'll be like, that's perfect. Do it. And people are like, where's the light? I'll be like, where's the what? Oh, that's right. I did do that thing, right? Yes.
Where's the what? Shit.
Yeah. And I'll have to write back to be like, yeah, okay, let Juan know.
On it, though.
Right, I'm like, let Juan know.
Yeah.
Put that light back. That's what we need. And I'll be like, thank you, Phoebe, for catching that. And she'll be like, that's what I get paid for. It's like, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'm saying, sometimes critiquing somebody who's doing drawing and stuff, it can be like so our partner John, who people know, Mr. Horsley, he draws, and sometimes he'll send me stuff. Oh, what do you think? And he's got talent, but not everything comes out is great. I mean, everybody has their moments where it's just not good, but I have a hard time telling anybody who spent that much time working on something that is bad. You know what I mean? I'm the worst person for that kind of stuff because I think of the effort that goes into it, Yeah. Like, no, this is cool, man. This is great. And that's what goes in my mind. I don't want to tell them, oh, this looks like shit.
well, I will say, luckily, I've not had an issue with one to say that it looks like shit, but I will say I get overly excited when I see the new page that I tend not to look at anything beyond. I'm like, I just look at it. It's like, yeah,
amazing.
Do it. Yeah, fantastic. Better than I can do. Fantastic.
My words are unpictured. This is amazing.
Yeah, I came out of my head, and he put it on paper. What came out of my head, and then and like I said, it does take Phoebe to be like, what? Look at the page. What don't you see? It's like, oh, I'll talk to him.
How did you guys find the artist? How does she find
that? That's all on Phoebe. Phoebe knows people.
Yeah.
I mean, I never think I could have found an artist at the level of Juan at the level in which I'm writing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I was writing for Image, and I'm sure the well of artists who are going to work with you, who when you work for Image, is probably pretty high. But at our level, to find an artist of that quality, I don't know how she did it, but she tends to just know people. Be like, yeah, I know an artist will do blah blah blah. I was like, all right. I mean, I didn't know what to expect when Phoebe said she found an artist for the original 8-page mini, which was the same artist, Juan.
Yeah, issue 1 as well.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. My opinion was Phoebe's paying for it. Sign who she wants, and I see the art. I was like, oh shit, this is like a real guy. This isn't like my nephew from blah 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 is going to do the comic book for him. It was like, this is like an actual artist. I was like, oh shit, okay. But yeah, she just knows people, and he does it. He works quickly. He so far has not gotten annoyed with any of our suggestions. He just does the fixing, which is a good trait in an artist. Artists I've dealt with a lot of artists who are extremely combative.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if you make a critique, like I had this one artist, I never ended up finishing the project with. It was the original artist for Santa Claus. This is before the current one. When I tried it the first time.
Amazing, by the way.
Huh?
The cover for Santa Claus looks amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the original artist, I can't remember. I had a critique that he drew a mother that looked kind of like manly. I was like, kind of look kind of manly. Can you try to make it look a little more
feminine,
female-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he said, yeah, sure. Then 4 months later, he finally gets the next page done. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm just feeling a little busy right now. It's like, fuck you. Yeah. It's like some artists will just dick you if you I'll ask for any changes and whatnot. And one's been cool. One makes the changes almost immediately.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, I just lost track of the question I was going to ask you.
Why is Malik so awesome?
Yes. Where's it at? Shit. I just had your Kickstarter up. There it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm kind of out of it today. Work has been like crazy.
No worries.
Been totally out of it. We'll edit it all out though.
That's all right. It's me. It's not like it's like Jason Momoa was on here. Like, man, I don't know what to say next. It's like, fuck it, it's Momoa.
Motherfucking Momoa.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's what I saw this meme and it was like, this is my lawn. And then it shows a picture of somebody's lawn. And then it shows Jason Momoa. This is my Moa.
That's cool.
So your goal is pretty low. So the goal here is just for printing, really? Like everything's done and you need to get the printing.
Yeah, it's a printing and distribution. It's the comic book is pretty much complete. Only thing that's left is some lettering with Phoebe. Second issue, though, is guaranteed done. It's like I said, all the art's complete. It's just a question of the lettering. Yeah. It's for distribution. It's for lettering. And if there's some money left over, we're going to share it with the colorist, Chris, and we'll try to, and obviously some for Phoebe and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, it's done.
Is there any, I don't want to say spoilers, but is there anything that you can give us of what Malik's going to go through in this issue that we might get excited for?
Yes, I will pitch my comic book.
Nice.
It's nice to be on this side of the mic sometimes.
Yeah.
Pitch something. Yeah. So basically, issue 1 was the beginning of Malik's conquest through hell, right. And it ends with a pretty impressive fight with the other Malek, as it were, right? This one is going to lead into his battle against basically the final lords of hell, specifically Baal, and eventually also in it is going to be the angel Gabriel, who so far is a very popular character, kind of this like prissy bitch angel, and Malik is going to continue his fight through hell. He's going to be confronting the other lords of hell, and eventually he's going to have the final war with his army and what's left of the opposing arm, which is Baal's, and they're going to basically have it out. And eventually it's going to end with, obviously, as all comic books do, the main baddies confronting each other. But there is a surprise twist at the end. It's kind of like, I don't want to ruin too much, but it's basically an Indiana Jones type twist at the end. And it's going to move into the real big fight.
Nice. Coming issue.
Yeah. Yes. So the third issue then is going to move into a different direction. And basically we're looking at a stylistic tone change every 2 issues.
Yeah.
2 issues from hell. There's actually 1 issue in purgatory, 2 issues in heaven. And then there's an epilogue issue, which is kind of, I can't give away what happens in it, but it's a pretty big deal.
So when you think of a play, you have 3 acts.
Yes.
6 issues. Is it safe to say that issue 1 and 2 is act 1?
I would say if you're going through sort of like a Shakespearean 5-act play, the first 2 issues I would say are the first 2 acts. Mm-hmm. Purgatory is your 3rd act. Heaven is kind of your 4th and 5th, and the epilogue is sort of a tacked on 5.5 act.
Right.
but like I said, there's also the 2 mini comic books that when you read them in conjunction with the main story, you actually get a little more details.
Yeah.
There's Malek, Heaven's Child, which is coming out as well, which is an 8-page, which takes place before all the other issues in the series. It's sort of like a early prequel where you get a sense of when you meet Malek when he's a new angel. Yeah. And you kind of see what Malek was like before everything that happens to him made him the killer that he becomes. The true Hamashiach.
Right.
Which is a true badass. But this is him a little earlier on when he still has some new kind of idealism inside him. But yeah, issue 2 is going to be mostly a massive battle. It keeps building a momentum. You also get a sense of Malek more as a character, and that there's still a part of him that wishes he could exist in his old life.
Right.
That he still wants
God's grace, basically.
Yeah. And I think that, the way I kind of viewed it was sort of like Malek almost as a bad child on some level, where no matter how much issues you have in many ways with your parent, you still somehow, part of you still seeks their approval and wants to be accepted again. So I still kind of wrote Malek, and you see this early on in issue 2, as a character who, even though he is angry at God, he has this anger and vengeance and is driven by almost his hate. There's still that part of him that still wants that God's approval, as almost like a parent, as a child to a parent, like, please still love me.
Right.
Let me back home.
Right.
And and I try to make it so he's trying to make it a little more complex, and you get a little more idea of his complexity of a character in issue 2.
That's nice. So when you've been writing him now, this is you've done quite a few issues now.
Yeah.
For one character, especially on an independent scene. Because you said you gotten 4 written, right?
There's 4 issues written, and so there's 2 issues left to go, except for if there's any other miniseries.
Is there things that are happening now that you wish you would have done a little differently in issue 1 and in the anthology?
A little bit. I think that I think every author has an issue with regret for everything they write, that you kind of wish you did something differently. So some things that I wasn't aware of until later. Like when I wrote the 3rd issue from Purgatory, I broke a lot of bounds that I thought, well, maybe I can't do that, but I decided, screw, I'm just going to do it. And then I thought to myself, when I did the 3rd issue, I was like, I probably could have broken those bounds in 1 and 2 too. It's like I had, because issue 3 is going to be about 36 pages long, which is well beyond the average range.
That's a big book. That's like an annual. Yeah,
and I told Phoebe, I was like, just let you know, the 3rd issue is 36 pages. Sorry. And she was like, if she read it, she's like, it's good. I can't edit at any of these pages. You need them. And so just publish. We'll do 36 pages, just how it goes. Yeah. And I was like, issue 1 and 2, I probably could have done that too. And I could have expanded here, and here. And I kind of wish, I wish I could have gone back and maybe done like an expanded version where I drew out more of his, because, I use a Dante's Inferno version of hell, kind of.
Yeah.
And none of the stories and a lot of plot there. And I thought to myself, this is really a world that you could have expanded on more and more and more. And I kind of wish I had, but I was thinking in terms of a 24-page issue back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the bounds were so easily broken. I could have just written it. As long as it was good, I probably could have gone as far as I wanted to. But yeah, issue 3 is 36. Issue 4, I think, is 32. And issue 5 and 6. Who the hell knows? I'm going to write them until I can't think of anything else to write.
How much of your cultural heritage has played into your own vision of what hell and how Malik should be interacting with God?
That's a good question, actually. Points for you. Good, fantastic question. Okay, so basically, culturally, I'm technically Jewish,
right?
And there's certain ideas that come with Judaism, but I would say from how I kind of a little more raised by my father, I'm a little more of an atheist / agnostic.
Yeah,
and in being that, it causes you to have certain questions about the nature of God. Right. I think atheists I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like as atheists, we tend to think more about religion than religious people think about religion for some reason. Like, and I thought to myself, what is the nature of God? If you take God from an understanding of the world around us and the religious text we tend to base the Judeo-Christian God on, what does that mean about God? What kind of God is that really? And the only real conclusion you can make is that God's an asshole. You can only, as long as you take God from the understanding of the world around us and the books, right? God's an asshole. He is. You read the Torah, he's a complete dick. You can say all you want about the New Testament, but he did sacrifice a son for an answer he already knew, that because he's omnipotent, so he knows everything anyway. So you didn't have to sacrifice; you already had your answer. And so that's kind of dickish. And the Armageddon part at the Revelation is a real dick move too, because you're God, you can win the war by a thought. That's your power. Right. So I thought, if you take that as God fictionally, how would you portray it as one of his angels, as one of his soldiers? And I kind of took Malik and thought, if God was truly like that to some of the angels who are created to love him as they're part of their nature, at what point does an angel break? At what point does he realize he was not the love that he thought he had with his creator does not exist, right? Or was not the way he envisioned it? And then what happens next? So Malik is sort of what happens when an angel realizes he's been forsaken, and he realizes his partnership with God, or as one of his children or one of his creations, is a one-way street where God was doing only what God wanted to happen and did not actually care about the angel under his service. Right. So what does Malik do now? And in my opinion, Malik would do what any of us does, which is fight back. And revenge, which I think revenge tends to be kind of a trait that anything sentient tends to possess him.
Yeah. It's always interesting because I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way as you, very agnostic, very atheist, really, because it's just,
Yeah.
It's too much. But in Catholicism, it's different because like angels and all of these things from heaven, they don't have free will.
Yeah.
There is no, if God does something like that, for whatever the reasons are, there is no rebelling against it because you don't have any will to have that cognizant realization that you're being, screwed over.
Yeah.
Right. You're just like, that's what I have to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. They're very robotic. I mean, that's the only way to think about it is they're robots.
Yeah. It kind of the issue that I can, so you're not supposed to have any sense of free will. The idea of the angel that you don't have a soul.
Right.
But
only humans are only us have free will. That was the gift. That was the big gift.
Right. So with Malek, I kind of take the sense that free will is not, they don't lack free will. They don't understand the need for it.
Right.
But push anything hard enough. I mean, there's always, the legend of Lucifer obviously has some level of free will for the fact that whatever action that led him to go sent to be banned to hell and have a war, he obviously contains some level of free will.
Right.
So in the continuity of the bullshit, Lucifer of the mythology, Lucifer had free will. Right. Now Malek then has the opportunity for it. But the question is, he has to think about having it. So until he's put in a position where things suck so bad that he starts thinking, why am I doing this? It finally gives him a moment to contemplate his existence. And that's when everything around him falls apart. When he realizes, oh man, I don't think I like how this is happening for me. This isn't fair for me. And then he confronts Lucifer, who also does the final twist and reveals to him, the thing that you're doubting, keep doubting. This is the reality of it. And he's like, son of a bitch, Lucifer's right. And then at the end of the first issue, when everyone, of course, all my listeners will buy the first issue, he finds when God sends down the other mass of shit, the other version of Malek, the gods, the second Malek.
Yeah. He
comes down and Malek uses the same mental trick that Lucifer did to him, which is kind of logic him a little bit. And he finds that the same thing that lost his faith, does it to the other Malek, the Hamashit, and it allows him to win. So once again, the lack of free will is something that they only exist because they don't stop to contemplate.
Yeah.
Once they do, and the ones you can poke a little hole in that faith, it all crumbles. And that's, I think, sort of like how all our faiths work. You take, if you really, really study your faith and you really look at the books, something has to start to crumble just a little bit. Once that first crumble happens, it's not so hard to see the rest fall apart. And that's pretty much happened to Malek.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, where can people go if they want to get issue 1? Is that available for them to purchase today?
Yeah, you can go on Indie Planet. You can go to, if you fund the Kickstarter, you can get the first issue quite easily. So you know what? Screw Indie Planet, go to Kickstarter, for the first issue, get it, and get the second one as well. And I will tell you, it is a fun story. It's, like I said, it's metal as fuck. And if you're one of those people, I think, who has any theological leanings from a questioning standpoint, you'll find that Malek approaches a lot of the questions that you also probably are asking, and it's fun to see this other character act on those questions.
So if you guys are interested, I think you guys should check it out. It's a lot of fun. I read the first issue, so I'm excited to read the second issue. It is a ton of fun. Go to Kickstarter.com. Do a search for Malek. It's Malek. It's gonna be the first one that pops right up. Click on that. See all the different reward tiers that Jeff is offering. They're all really good. If you just want to give him support and back him, he's got $1. You can just send him $1, and that's always really cool and appreciated. But he's got lots of great tiers to get a lot of cool stuff, and I really, really think you guys should go check it out and enjoy it, because I know I will when I get mine. Yeah,
every dollar is appreciated. Just seeing an extra backer on the thing, can be that thing that encourages someone else to go, you know what, this project's probably worth. Look at all the people who like it.
Yeah.
So even $1 is just do it.
And if you can't afford it for whatever reason, if you can't afford it, share it. Share this podcast that you're hearing now, or go to Kickstarter.com and share the link to his Kickstarter. Jeff will really appreciate it.
I concur.
All right, man. Well, Jeff, thanks for taking some time today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's so weird being on this side of the microphone.
Good. We'll get it soon. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
And we're back.
That's right. We are back. Back in the saddle again. Well, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that as much as we did making it for you. And if you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, you got to go check out spoilerverse.com, because at spoilerverse.com, we have a plethora of amazing directors and artists of all walks of life, and editors and writers, and oh my God, are you a lover of comic books like we are? Then there's so many amazing people from the comic book world over at spoilerverse.com, and I highly implore you to go there and check it out.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can check out all the other podcasts on our network, like Bridges and Geekdoms and Funny Book Forensics and Haphazard Adventures and Nerds from the Crypt and so many more.
Misery
We put out
Point Radio.
episodes all the time. Go check all of them out, and check out all of the reviews and previews and articles we have going up every single day for you, every day on spoilerverse.com for you to check out and to read and to love and to like and to comment. We have a store link. You want to help support the site? You can do it two ways. One, go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/spoilercountry, or go to our store link in the middle of the site there and get a t-shirt, a face mask, a hoodie, something, look fly as hell, and help support the site when you do that, because we get $1 or $2. And, maybe you want to talk to us. If you do, you can do it obviously on all the socials, but if you go to scpod.us/discord, you can join our public Discord server and come chat with us all day long.
I couldn't say it better myself, dude.
There you go.
You just mouthed out a ton of information at once, and really I hope you guys enjoy what you're hearing, because we're working our butts off to bring it to you.
We are.
I guess there's only one left thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. There's only one left thing left to do.
What's that?
In oceans of podcasts,
We are Cthulhu.
as Cthulhu compels you to
Open the mind.
and read more.